All right, I want to take you now to my conversation with David Oyelowo. I'm a big fan of his because of Selma, where he played Dr. Martin Luther King. Keep in mind, David Oyelowo was born in the UK. He's Ghanaian, he's Nigerian British, so he speaks with a British accent, but he pulled off a perfect American accent. And in Queen of Katwe, which I've watched and is amazing, he pulls off the best Ugandan accent I have heard. So I'm sitting here with David Oyelowo, who is the co-star of the new Queen of Katwe. Excellent movie. You were great in it. And I just complimented Lupita's accent. Ugandan accent was incredible. Yours too. How did you figure that out? How did you get into it?
Well, it helps immensely to shoot in the place where the film is set. To have Robert Katende on set with us every day, for me to be able to listen to him in order to click into the accent every day. I also had a Ugandan dialect coach here. And the fact that Ugandans are pretty direct and honest, and they will let you know when it is going awry. So, you know, I think all of those things, plus a real desire on my part to get it right, means that I think we did okay.
This film would not have been made, this story would not exist without Robert Katende. What are your impressions on meeting the man himself, about whom this whole story came about? Because without him, there would be no Fiona, and there would be no chess story.
I think that's exactly right. I think, you know, obviously Fiona's story is extraordinary and the reason why this film got made, but there are so many kids who haven't gone on to become chess champions, but have been equally impacted in very real ways by Robert's advocacy, by his mentorship, by his fathering of them in a sense. So, you know, the impression I'm left with is this is a person who has genuinely left the world better for his existence than it would have been without it. And that is a really remarkable thing for anyone to be able to say.
You've done some incredible work, stories that are important to you as a person, to your identity. You, as Dr. Martin Luther King in Selma, such an iconic figure. How do you don't have pressure when you play somebody like that, and then you come out and play something entirely different in Robert Katende? How do you process that?
I think pressure is a good word. You know, there is a level of expectation that, of course, there is from the audience, but that I put on myself to get it right. If you're going to put yourself in a position of playing true life characters, which I've had the opportunity to do a couple of times, you have to recognize the fact that you will be discredited immediately if there are certain things you don't hit. The truthfulness of who they are or were, how they move, how they talk, to be able to evoke the spirit of that, not an imitation, but the spirit of that. And then for it to resonate on a human level. Can I identify with this person as opposed to them just being a cardboard cutout? You know, in playing someone like Dr. King or even Robert, they've got to feel like a flesh and blood human being.
The thing about this story is it's so rare to see stories like these on the big screen, and given this global distribution, we don't see that many African stories in Hollywood. So given that extra importance of that, is that part of the reason why you wanted to do this?
Of course. I mean, as an African myself, you know, I have been irritated by some of the depictions of us I've seen in big movies. It's not to take away the validation of them. The negative side of life in Africa is a truism, but it's not the entirety. You know, not everything about us is child soldiers and corruption and dictatorship and genocide and. You know, we also have Fiona Matesi's, we have Robert Katende's, we have stories that have universal themes, even though they are set in specific places. And so that's what I really loved about this story.
Is it possible to have stories like these gain global acclaim and recognition and be commercially successful? A movie about an African without a white savior, rare as it is?
We're about to find out. You know, Queen of Katwe is literally rolling out as we speak, and it is a rare thing. I can't think of too many films that have a truly African cast without that sort of foreign perspective and foreign protagonists that have gone on to do the kind of box office that would hopefully mean we get to see more of this. So, you know, we're all very hopeful and prayerful that Queen of Katwe will usher in more.
Okay. How do you pick the projects you work on?
I tend to do films that I would want to see as an audience member, that are meaningful to me and that truly have something to say. Now, that's subjective as to what, you know, what that means, but what that means for me is basically I have my 3 Ps, the part, the people, and the project. If the part speaks to me, great. If the project feels like it is worthy of being told to an audience, great. And the people I get to work with, Mira Naya, Lupita Nyong'o. I mean, you can stop there, right. You know, in terms of why one would want to do this film.
Finally, what's your acting advice for people who want to get into this and they probably don't know how to go about it?
I think because we see so many movies, because the art of acting is to make it look easy, I think people think you can just step into it. You can just learn your lines, let the cameras roll, and there's a chance that you'll be good. That is just not true. You know, you need training. You need to understand human behavior. You need to understand the technicalities of what it is to be in front of the camera and to tell the truth of that. So anyone who's serious about becoming an actor, I would say there is nowhere better for training than theater. If you can, go to a conservatoire, go to a drama school where you can really learn it as a craft, because that's going to put you in the top 5%, because it's a very competitive industry and you really do need to be the best you can possibly be at it in order to make a living at it.
All right, David, thank you so much and excellent work on the film.
Thank you.